Municipal Nature Park number 11. That's the number in the municipality of Jerusalem. This hill, it is called Givat HaTanach Bible Hill. And the story is very interesting. In the 1950s, when the border between the Israeli side of Jerusalem and the Jordanian side of Jerusalem was right there. Can you see the Dormition Abbey, the church?
Yeah.
So in between the church and the walls today, that's where the border passed. We're on the border between Israel and Jordan between 1948 and 1967. And in those days, there was a company that its focus was to enhance the study and research of the Bible in the public, wanted to build a museum for itself right here. Its strongest enthusiast and supporter was the Prime Minister of Israel at the time, David Ben-Gurion. But his student, Teddy Kollek, that became later the mayor of Jerusalem, thought differently for this hill, and he thought it should be part of the main street of theater and culture. So he didn't want a heavy museum there, and he made sure the theater below will become the Khan Theater. That's just down below, and the museum was never built here.
Yeah.
So that's the Bible Hill. 2, look in front of you. You can see the walls today, but remember the walls today have nothing to do with our story. Where did the walls pass in the first temple period? Can you see the row of trees and the tombstones in front of us, just above the orange bus?
Yeah.
Okay? That's the product, just above, across the street across, not the one in front of us. There's a white and orange bus now driving away. So right above it is the Protestant cemetery. And inside the Protestant cemetery, they found a portion of the first temple period wall, circling Jerusalem. So you can make a circle, get to Jaffa Gate, you can see the minaret, not the San Salvador tower, the smaller roundish tower just at Jaffa Gate. So the wall went there, went down to the broad wall, and to the wall I showed you in the Cardo towards the Temple Mount, circling. We cannot see the city of David from here, but it's over there behind the trees. So this is actually the southwestern part of Jerusalem. Look how close we are. Just crossing the Hinnom Valley. It's very, very close. And as I mentioned before, the caves, the tombs around can be located and mapped, and then we can identify where the city was on the other side of the valley, just across from us. So when the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 19 leaves one of the gates of Jerusalem and goes down to the Hinnom Valley, he walks from somewhere directly to the valley below us. What does he find there? Idolatry. Worship of idols and statues. And he says, because of this, Jerusalem will be destroyed. So it's right outside the gates of Jerusalem, and just a little bit further out will be the tomb sites and the caves used for burial in those days. So imagine the city's much closer. It's hard to visualize, but that's where the city is. Really, really just across from us. Bible Hill received its name also, even though no one thought of it at the time, because it's one of the only hills that's actually mentioned in the Bible. This hill is mentioned in the Bible. And I'm in Joshua chapter 15, and I think that Joshua was the first book we opened this morning, so it's not a bad idea to finish our tour with it. Joshua 15. We are told the description of the border between Benjamin and Judah, the tribes of Israel, when the border starts in the east and goes westward. I'm in verse 7, and the border went from Dvir to the valley of Achor, a valley where there was a sin. I'm going to move on, and goes to the Gilgal, and Gilgal is some structure, some open space where the tribes of Israel gathered, and then it moves ahead westward to just across from Ma'ale Adumim. For the people that live in Ma'ale Adumim, I'm sorry, you live in the wrong spot. Or sorry, Ma'ale Adumim is in the wrong spot. The real spot is east, a few kilometers east from the location of the modern city. We're going to pass there the day after tomorrow, stop there, and I hope I'm going to say this again there, if not, if Michal won't say it. And then it continues to a spring called Spring of Sun, Ein Shemesh, that I do not know where it is, and then continues to Ein Rogel, another spring that is identified at the bottom in the Kidron Valley, just down there. Can you see the red painting on the building?
Yeah.
So just below it, at the bottom, there's a small spring, Ein Rogel, and then it continues, goes up in the valley of Hinnom, south of the Jebusite city that is known as Jerusalem, where we started the day, and goes up to the hill that is on the western side of the Hinnom Valley, in the northern edge of Rephaim Valley, Emek Rephaim. The street behind you, it's named Emek Rephaim because the Templars in the 19th century knew their Bible very well and identified it perfectly. So we are on the hill that is west from the Hinnom Valley and in the northern tip of the valley going down towards the Mediterranean Sea. This hill is actually the borderline between whatever goes westward and whatever goes eastward. Which means when it rains on this hill, at the top of the hill, just behind you, half the drop will go down here into the Hinnom Valley, into the Kidron Valley, and find its way to the Dead Sea. The other half of the drop will go into the Rephaim Valley, to the Sorek, or the Sarar, and get all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. We're on the separation phase that actually crosses within modern Jerusalem. But please notice, the ancient city is all in the eastern part of that. The western part is over there. So to summarize and finish everything I just talked about,